Good morning. Yes, this is Sandi, Ballard, your host of the Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. Well, wow, it's been quite a summer, quite a year so far. And I'm warming up to the Instagram. So if you have not, if you're on there and you've not looked for me, it's Taskmaster Sandi with an I. Don't expect a whole lot from me. Like I said, I'm just warming up to that. But if you'd like to see daily messages, questions, articles, things like that, I do post them on my LinkedIn page and my Growing Forward Facebook page and Twitter. So please do check those out. My Twitter is slballard13. And don't forget my website, growingforward.biz, B-I-Z. So one of the things last week, I'm in B&I, Business Network International. For those of you who don't know about it, it's a weekly networking group. And we have a new member, and we have our photos up, like our company name and logo and a photo up on a rotating PowerPoint presentation. And she leaned over and said, "I love the fact that you have a whip in your photo." That made me laugh. Yes, for those of you who do not know, it's the photo from my cover of my second book, How Badly Do You Want It, which has me in with my pointy shoes and my whip. And sometimes I have to bring that out. Sometimes people stray from their plan or totally ignore it. It can get scary, it's hard, it's shit you don't want to do, but at the end of the day, even if, I've had crappy ass days, even if you want to throat punch your day, do you love what you're doing? Do you believe in your product, your service? Even if you don't believe necessarily in yourself. Interesting thought there, right? So last week was knowing when to walk away. When you've kicked that damn dead horse for the last time, perhaps even stopped, looked back one more time, and said, "Did it move?" But what's one of my favorite quotes? I forgot to look it up, but it's okay to look back at your past, like look over your shoulder and learn. Just don't live there, okay? So you're moving on from that dead horse. You've walked away, and last week's podcast, number 73, was about a client who had walked away from something she had given her all in money, time, passion, everything. And she's now kicking ass on her new priorities. She didn't change her goals. She just finally, one of her themes was to let shit go. She finally learned how to let shit go. She finally learned how to walk away from that dead horse, reprioritized, and is now kicking ass. But what if you never try? I have clients who, seriously, take jobs and quit them or try to justify why they're doing something that's so not even parallel to what they're doing. They're totally perpendicular and it's taking their energy away. But what if you believe in your product or service, but not yourself? That's when asking for help becomes key. Because sometimes maybe the lack of confidence comes from not knowing how to do what you need to do. So I have a client who, although he did ask for help, he was in business. He had just started his product, or launched his product, I guess, a few months. I wouldn't say launched. I would say he had it. At first, he walked in. He was willing to give away a good portion of his business just to make it happen. He's like, "I don't want to do that. I don't know how to do it. Blah, blah, blah. I just want someone to take this percentage and go and run with it." I'm like, but only you can do some of these things. No one knows. I mean, there were certain things. So I was like, okay, I'll take a bigger percentage. You pay all the expenses and I'll do that. And he wasn't real happy with that. But what it was going to take to get it off the ground needed him. And it needed a business plan. So from the beginning, he was resisting the advice. He questioned a lot of things, including the point of getting his ducks in a row. I said to him, when things take off, because I believed in this product as well, when things take off, when you get that big deal, if you truly do need investors or funding from a bank, you're going to need a business plan. Where are you going to market? What are your financials? A bank or investors aren't going to invest in something that has no financials, no return on investment. He looked at me and he asked, do you really think that will happen? Confidence, right? Lack of confidence in himself. Even though, I asked him if he truly believed in his product. He loved it, believed in it, but yet something was stopping him because he was stepping into the unknown territory. He even said, quite a few times, I'm just not good at that part of the business. And straight up to this day, he has refused. So if you're listening, you know who you are. You've refused to do a few things that really, really need to happen. And however, a couple months into working together, he finally did dip his little toe into the water. He saw progress. He saw interest in his product. It created excitement. So what do you think happened next? Yep. He jumped in with both feet without a life preserver and had no plan of where he was going to get out. He got swept away. So now, I guess somewhat in a good way, it's crazy, right? I mean, boom, off to the races. But what happened? And what hadn't happened? Sorry, what had not happened yet? Yeah, his business plan. He in his head, he even said, I got that in my head. He knows the costs and the pricing he needs to set, the structure on that, his profit and loss on his product, but not all of it, because he doesn't have all the expenses down. Mileage, how to pay his help. He's paying somebody to help him, but how much is he paying the right? And how is that affecting the overall profit and loss? He's running ragged, getting pulled from all sides. I mean, it's amazing. Every time he turns around, somebody's like, oh, try this. I can help you do that. Do this. So he is just going gangbusters. And we texted not too long ago, and he said he was about to collapse. But it's good. He's getting things done. He's getting out there. And I'm just getting reports, though, of what he's signed on to do. And he did sort of get that sort of big deal. That's fantastic. But I hate having to play the devil's advocate, but, that is my job. What's next? What happens if? What will you do when? And when this series of events ends, what's he going to do? You can get so caught up that you lose control. Success, especially fast success like he's had, within just a few months can kill a business faster than really doing nothing. Baby steps, slow progress. So you can get over your head, get behind on what you know you need to do, get overwhelmed, and then shut down. I've seen it happen. I've had clients that have done it, and they've totally hidden from me, and I knew nothing until they came to me and said, I shut my business down. And it's heart-wrenching, for me, but to see all of them, all that they put into it. And yes, last week was about a client who knew when to walk away. But these were ones that were achieving huge successes. Not that she wasn't achieving success. She had just, the horse was dead. But, you don't want to get in so far over your head, be off to the races, and swept away in the rapids, and then you drown. So what's the point here, you're asking? Yes, get your ducks in a row. Get your shit together. Even when or if things take off, when someone reaches their hand out to help you, don't ignore it. Don't just wave as you go flying by in the rapids. There's a reason why that person has their hand out. You may want to keep going and ignore it, because ignoring it is not going to make the shit you have to do go away, all right? The person is going to, you're like, he's going to make me do stuff I don't want to do. Kind of like mom making you clean your room. It's still going to be there. That messy room is still going to be there when you get done playing, when you get done ignoring your mom, right? So things should be slowing down for my client. And he does have, now, he has some good data now that he's actually gotten in. He has some good data for his business plan. He just needed to be documenting things along the way so he could easily put this into the business plan. But because he resisted and ignored the reason for processes, I'm just one guy, I got it in my head, except now what would have taken him 10 minutes after each event or sale is now going to take him hours to sort through, if he even can, sort it all out and keep track of what was what, where, and when. So live and learn, yes. Being busy is a great problem to have. But get your shit together at the beginning. Get your processes in place, systems in place. Get your accountant, get your structure set up, bookkeeper. They don't have to be expensive. But know what you want to do and you like to do, and then ask for help and listen. He has no plan, no proof of, ROI, return on investment, or profit and loss. So if he needs funding to get to that next level. So we're going to have to work a little backwards. But, even if you're doubting yourself, your product, your service, and you don't like what you're doing, when you need to do it, oh, it's boring, it's hard, it's dumb. I have a client that's doing that, resisting finishing something because it's dumb and she doesn't want to do it. But, maybe you don't see the point. Well, if you're paying for help or you've asked for help, don't ignore it, or you're going to hear a giant "I freaking told you so." You're going to have to do it regardless, now or later. It's just later is usually more expensive, more time-consuming, and more painful. Okay? So this week, email me, sballard@growingforward.biz. Post here in the comment section. When is one time you asked for help, paid or not, ignored it, and then it bit you in the ass, and you heard, "That's great, but I told you so." All right? And if you can't figure it out and you've already gotten that "I told you so," for the love of God, hire a coach, me, somebody else, find someone to help you, an accountability partner, a mentor, and work through it, okay? Start listening for help, because we don't want you to fail. We want you to keep going and succeed, all right? Just have a great week. And again, thank you for sharing my podcast every week. And please share again. Cheers.